Well, I watched those other guys, uh, the TNS show. Anyhow, they were commenting on Gene, whatever the 2010 interview, Forrest Fenn. Um, I met that woman at the book signing. She didn't nobody recognizes me. I think Doug might know who I am now, but and I think Doug might know I'm close, like Forrest does. But they were commenting on that video and what she asked Forrest. She meanwhile, I'm going to get my put that on mute. Oop, mute, and I've got to get my thing going here so I can see if anybody says anything. There, and it should say that I am. Yep. Okay. So now I can see your comments on the computer if there's anybody. There's nobody out there. Nobody watching. Nobody watching. One watching. Oh, okay. Me. One watching. Okay, but anyhow, that interview, she started out with one of the right questions, one of the final answers. She asked him about his collecting. He started your collection collecting bottle caps. Well, that's one of the final clues is the bottle caps, and the reason the bottle caps are a clue is the area where you're going to be searching. You're going to find a lot of bottle caps because you're going to be using a metal detector, and there are a lot of bottle caps in the ground there. The treasures, and that kind of helped confirm me that I am in the right area. How you doing, Laura? uh, after midnight there. Yeah, I had to go. I was waiting for my eye doctor appointment when they were live, and I watched their show live. It started like 9 o'clock, and I wasn't finished till after 10, and I wanted to have a little rebuttal because one thing I put in some comments. I put in about the bottle caps. That the bottle caps, it was relevant to what they were talking about that interview, and I put in about the bottle caps. That the bottle caps are a clue that you need a metal detector, you know, and so anyhow, um, because you're going to be using a metal detector to find the treasure, but before you find the treasure, you're going to find a whole lot of bottle caps. So that means it could be buried. That's the other. He tried. They were trying to say, oh, he wouldn't have buried it. He wouldn't have buried it. That treasure is too precious to bury. Well, all you got to do is put the treasure chest in some Tupperware. You could wrap it in plastic bags and then put it in a Tupperware, and it's the dirt ain't gonna hurt it. And even after you put it in the Tupperware, you can put it in another plastic bag. He could have 10 layers on it, and then you wouldn't really have to worry about hitting it with a shovel. But you're gonna be very careful anyhow if I get a big target. And the area is very frozen right now, with 4 inches of snow, and temperatures have been 5 below to 10 below at night, or 10 above at night, and getting up 42 degrees maybe in the daytime. So it's pretty frozen, that ground underneath that snow. And I've been in the area where the thing is, and for this. It's the other thing that put me back here, because I've been there before, and I thought, well, this is nice here, but he wouldn't have put it here. He said, and he keeps saying, he said, you'd be surprised where it is once you find it. So, and it's I'm not. I can't say things that'll give away my spot. But he says to think about where you started, and to think about where you started, you got to think about where he started, and think about where he was when he was 12, or what things were when he was 12. He was he had his bottle cap collection. He found his arrowhead. So I'm looking for arrowhead, but anyhow, and he had his ball of string. His ball of string is related to the ulnac head. I found an ulnac head, and my spot is right by the ulnac head, where he could sit there for hours and drink his grape at, toss the caps out, watch the creek. Maybe watch the creek, because it's in the wood. So it's a little hard to see the creek from in the wood, but there is some wood near the creek, and you see that it's such a big area that, and when you try and run a metal detector, you're running it back and forth over grass, cut grass. And nothing's manicured here. There is no cut grass, but there's plenty of rocks and something else that got my attention. But it's covered with snow. You can't even turn over a rock because the rock is frozen to the ground. But I got a couple other notes here that they mentioned. And they're ignoring me on that thing too. So they won't even either. She's ignoring my post, or she was told by him to ignore my post. One or the other. And they're thinking it has nothing to do. It's just being ignorant, okay? Now, nobody likes somebody being ignorant to them. They don't like being ignored. That's why I'm not saying the name of their program. I'm not sending them any viewers. I don't have many myself, so I'm not going to help them out. They're not, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You don't scratch my back, I ain't scratching yours. And when you watch their show, ask them about me and ask them about what. Well, he said that you're going to need a metal detector. That those bottle caps mean you need a metal detector. Because you're going to find a lot of bottle caps before you find the treasure. You're going to find that collection of bottle caps. I can't wait to find some grapette bottle caps. I didn't know they still make that. Where does he get his grapette soda in 2018, 2015? That's the other thing. They're worried about when he hit it. Well, I think he hit it before 2003, and he was much more capable then. They didn't listen to him after the preacher died. And he, in the interview, he said he could go back 2017, he could go back and get it himself on his own without any help. So it isn't in a place that, it's in a place that an 87, 88-year-old man can get to. So I just had went to the eye doctor, got my glasses fixed. Well, these ones, let's see, which side? Yeah, this is the original side, and the earpiece was broken on this one. See, it's a different earpiece. So, but I get new glasses coming. I have to have an eye exam once a year because I take hydrochloroquine for lupus, and they have to check for macular degeneration and all that stuff, or I don't get my prescription. So But that's kind of it, because otherwise the VA, you only get glasses once every 2 years, but I get them every year. What's my next note here? Yeah, I just went over that about when he hit it, because, he can go back and get it now. And he can't walk very. He can't go climbing on them rocks and stuff. He'd be coming down and he'd fall and roll down onto the highway and get run over. Who knows? Now he can't go. He ain't gonna be climbing up on them rocks. So it's a nice flat level, easy to get to. Spot where with a little nice even trail to get to the creek. There's no climbing involved. No, nothing like that. I did some up under the blaze, and I followed the blaze, and I know where the end of his rainbow is. I've hinted at this location before and stuff, and people don't catch what I've said before. Oh yeah, and if the media or a gypsy's kids, oh, I said that damn name. Damn it, I didn't want to say their name because they're so ignorant to me and my solution or I haven't given them a solution. I haven't told them where. I'm just telling them, hey, this means that you need a metal detector. That the bottle caps mean you need a metal detector. The hint in the codex about the ulnac head means that's equivalent to his ball of string. Because I found the ulnac head. It's right there by the end of his rainbow. And you can see the ulnac head from the blaze. You can see the blaze from the... Well, it's a different angle, really, because you're looking across. You're looking at the blaze from the side, and it's not really a blaze from because you can't see his name from the ulnac head. You got to go from a different angle, but you can see that spot. You know what I mean? And it's all where he could take it with him. And I know how he took it with him. You got to think about those things. And they realize, oh, there's clues in the book too, not just in the poem. And now they're going back and they're gonna do one chapter at a time each week. And what I'll do is, after they complete their live feed, I'll do my rebuttal feed afterwards. So look forward to after their videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Look for my live feed will begin within a half hour after theirs. I'll try to do. I'll say an hour after theirs, because sometimes I get ready for it. So he says, read the poem 10 times. You know why he says read the poem 10 times? Because things repeat. There's more than one blaze. Like even the gypsies are a blaze. Each of his sketches in the book are a blaze. But the last blaze is his name, is the two fish hooks in front of the fish symbol, over the right above his name up on the canyon wall. And that's the blaze. And below the blaze doesn't necessarily mean it's right immediately below it. Immediately below it could be a mile down the road or 1,000 feet down the road. Warm water halts at 1,000 feet down. So, and so that's a good size area to check. The blaze and the ulnac head are I'd say about a third of a mile apart. So, but you can see one from the other. It's not that close. But neither one of them are where he could get to. The blaze is 600 feet up the mountain, or 400. I know it's 400 feet up because when I fly my drone, I can only get that high. I can't get on top of it. And my drone will only go to 400 feet. It's set that way because of the FAA. And what it should be set to is, well, what it is 400 feet above where you take off. And I'm less than 400 feet above the ground after I go up the side of the hill and then up to the cliff and stuff. I'm only 200 feet up because there's 200 feet. It changes altitude as it gets closer to it. I wish it had a sensor to tell you how high it was. And it's not recording. It stops recording just when I need it the most. So yeah, you read the poem 10 times because things repeat in there. I found that Rockwell boy. I found him in 2 places. I found a lot of alpha omegas, and they are hung up on the Native Americans, the tribes, the known tribes. This Olmec head is pre-Native American. What we know of they are Native Americans, yes, but they are not the Native American tribes that we know of. They 14,000 years ago, these tribes were non-existent. They did not exist at the time of these temples and ruins. It's Olmec, early Olmec. This pre-Egyptian, pre-Sumerian. It has the Sumerian gods are found here even. That tells you that they came from Colorado before they went over to Persia. They were here first. And people said, oh, I can't believe that. I can't believe that. No. That's just ignorance. If you don't want, they don't want to believe me. Yeah, that's their own shortcoming. I got to finish reading Doug's book, The Codex, too, because but I think I've found 2 of the 3 clues. I found half of one. He told me there's 2.5 more. And so, yeah, I found the half of one. I found the other half of that one, and I found he mentions the Olmec head, and that's early in the book. So I guess I got to go all the way to the end of the book probably before I'm gonna find that 3rd clue that he has in there. But sometimes I can pick up more clues from stuff that aren't clues, and that's part of how I got to where I am and how I solved it, is because you got to look at everything. You got to understand the mechanics of the theory of 6 degrees of separation. That there are clues everywhere right in front of you. You don't see them. Like I went through, they're going to go through the introduction of the book, and there are several clues just in the introduction. The nickel, he put the nickel under the grave, so it could be under a stone. There's like a crack under the stone, but also that's a clue to when he would fly around and he'd look for rock cliffs with shelter underneath the cliff, like the Pueblo, what is it? Whatever. It's not. It's just Chaco Canyon. Whatever. But the Mesa Verde, where the cliff dwellings and stuff, where they're in underneath, where they're out of the rain and stuff. He was looking for shelters where Indians might have made arrowheads, and he can go hunting for arrowheads and stuff. And so the nickel is the same as putting it on. That's like an underneath the edge of the cliff, you know. But he could have put it under a rock, but it's not where you're going to have to climb to get there. He shot metal arcs. That's a clue to the Red Ryder BB gun and the hot spring. And the guy that made the BB gun is the clue there. Okay? And there's another clue in there I'm not going to tell you because it has to do with the final location. And, it's in the mountains, along the rivers. It varies the many roads I traveled, It's along one of the roads he traveled. Words aren't in the dictionary. And others that are, I bend a little. Yeah, he twists a lot of words. So, like that Olmec had, it's a ball of string. It's a ball. My eyes are really dry right now because it's the end of the day. And my eye doctor prescribed me eye drops because my eyes are so red, and that was this morning, or 2 o'clock this afternoon, rather. Over the age of 12, and he mentioned, think about when he was 12. That's in the preface. Don't see a little of themselves in the mirror. Okay, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you're backwards. The George Washington's facing this way on the painting, or is that right? Or is he? Yeah, he's this way on the painting, and he's that way on the dollar. I don't know which way is which. So you might have to switch those around, but that's what he did too. He switched things around. Things are forward and backward. Some words, I got that. Don't see a little of themselves in the mirror. And then maybe they deserve another turn. So, see, you're turning it back, turn. Face this way, face that way, another turn. Because you're going to find it over and over facing different directions. And that's why things refer. And then about the 9 clues. Okay, this is in the preface. Okay, there are 9 clues. This book is my 9th. There are 9 clues. It's 9 books. Possibly. Because I found a lot more than 9 clues. There might be 9 clues in the poem. Where there's 50 in the book. They're all over the book. You got to be able to see things that are in plain sight. And be able to do that 6 degrees of separation. Oh, that means that and that. Oh, okay. This leads to that. It's like he talks about that at the end of life and everybody being there to at the end of life is at the end of his omega. His omegas are the I'm looking to see. What do we got? 5 people. Oh, wow. See, I guess if I let you know when I'm going to be on way ahead of time, be better. But when I do these things, I don't even see a stop button on it now. So, I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was going to go over today on that. And yeah, and the fact that she mentioned that about the about the about the bottle caps in his collection, where he started his collection. Think about where you started. Started collecting bottle caps. So someplace where somebody stands and fishes, has their grapette, sits on the rock with his grapettes, or whatever. I know a lot more than I'm saying. I'm just kind of giving you ideas, but and really it's not going to do you any good, because I'm so close. Before you even get to where warm waters halt, I'm going to have it. It's pretty obvious. Okay. Do you think this is the year that you... Oh, yeah, yep. Yep. I hope I get it before I'm 60. That's, let's see, what are the... How many days in February this year? So, that's it's a 20, it's a 18, no, 16 was a leap year, so 18 isn't, so there's 28 days in February, yeah. I'll be 60 in 59 days. I'm 59 and I'll be 60 in 59 days. That little numerology, all the numbers. My numbers just ones and threes. 13, 1, 3, 3, 1, or something like that. 58 is 13. So yep. A lot of 13, 31, and then those are magic numbers if you ask the Masons and stuff. I got some good numerology. But yeah, nobody's close. And when I go up there to look, I'm not announcing it. I just go up there and look when I'm ready to go look. And that's about it. I got these things. These are cool. These are good. Got these at Wally World. Cheapy cherry candies. They're yummy. I'm not going to eat one in front of you. Yes. And he says, life is a game of poker. Happiness is a pot. Fate deals you 4 cards and a joker, and you play whether you like it or not. Well, yep. That reminds me. My playing cards. I don't know where my deck is right here. I got some right by here somewhere. But the playing cards with Forrest Fenn that I made, and I sent him a deck. And Peggy uses them to play cards with them. And I think she wants me to find them at least. That guy that made these cards, I hope he finds them. Forrest saw my shirt with the Harvey rabbit on it, and what was he said? Something my grandmother would say. It wasn't deer. It wasn't no deer. It was something that those old people say. Forrest was only a year older than my dad. My dad was a Navy aviator. He was the radio man on a P-2 surveillance plane. So I asked Forrest about, my dad had these little cards with these little dirty cards. I asked Forrest if he had seen. Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah. And I got my airplane here, my F-100. This was in the model that said, it's a model online that says it's a F-100D. And when I showed it to Forrest, he says, that's not a D. The D the something, the wings are, they're different length. The elevators on the wings stick out further on a D model to, I guess, give them a little more power, you know, a little more turning ability and stuff like that, a little more maneuverability. This one, when I came back from February, I had it in the back of the car and it got a little warm. You can see that wing is warped a little bit. So I'll probably get another one, but I got the box this one came in. I got that signed. So that's my F100. Yeah. I had to put a little Forrest Fenn in there. I could still put one in from the inside. See, you can see through the windshield. I could put a little puppet in there. Yeah, Forrest Fenn flying through the. He says this is an F100C. It's not a D. So if you want an F100C model, go buy the D model. It's the only one. They're made in Japan. Yeah, I got the fuel tanks on it. But you know, it's fun to have. You gotta play the part. You gotta play the part. That's why I got the, you know, the frogs on my hat. And I thought I'd do them without my hat. So I do have hair, at least up here. I don't have much back here, but I got some in the front. Yeah, I had brown hair when I was younger, and now I got gray. And I don't know if he met Chuck Yeager. I wonder if he met Buzz Aldrin. He probably had ayahuasca with Buzz Aldrin. Yes, because he does talk about the Indian author that he knew. Hey, how you doing? Cavalos. Is it Cavalos? I'm afraid to pronounce your name. But yeah, he mentions the Indian guy that he said that, you know, the white man goes to church and talks about Jesus. The Indian goes in his teepee and talks to Jesus. That's because the Indian was eating peyote. And Forrest is clear that in the book he says that's in reference to peyote. These people ate. They didn't necessarily have peyote here. They had the red and white psychedelic mushrooms that grow in Siberia and in the mountains in Oregon. They grow all over the place. And the Siberians would go around collecting reindeer pee to drink the reindeer pee, because the reindeer would eat the mushrooms, and by digesting the mushrooms, they process out the poison, and only the hallucinogen comes out in the reindeer pee, and they would eat that yellow snow. Watch out where the huskies go, and don't you eat that yellow snow. Yeah. So that's what that's about. There's mushrooms all over the place up there, at least, you know, in the summer and spring, summer, fall. When the summer it rains a lot. In the fall it doesn't rain much, and the mushrooms pretty much dried up by fall, because that's when the plants dry, the leaves fall off. And it's really a better time to look because it doesn't rain so much. Yeah, nobody's. Yeah, we ain't got many people on here. 5, and that's all. That's almost a record. I think 8 was my record for a live thing. And it's funny because I know how close I am. And people don't realize, they oh, he keeps on moving. No, I've been on the same solve since August of 16. And I searched a bunch of times. And really, you got to do a whole lot of thinking. there's a lot more searching up in here than there is out on the ground. And if you think that you're going to figure it out from your couch and go right to it, you're not. You're going to have to do that 100 times or 200 times or maybe more before you go, oh, this isn't. And I've searched this area probably 70 times, 70 different searches, and I find in all, there's clues there, clues there, clues there, clues there. And you'll find clues in the field even, not just in the book, but there's stuff. The one by his with the double blazes, and that you turn them upside down and it turns into cow udders and cats. That one there, and there's a stack of his airplanes right next to it. That one there was something I saw there with him sitting there with his box, and his arm was laying there. But his arm went into something, and that told me that I have to go past that something. And that's when I did, and that's when I found the mammoth temples and stuff. And, Moses is over the, and I find Moses, I've found everything. Everything's up there. Let's see. I think that when my eyes are really dry, right? Winter is over, you will have news for that. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for winter to go over. The one area I'm going to be up there, as long as the snow is only 3-4 inches deep, I can go up there with my metal detector, and if I find something that makes that metal detector just go 99, 99, 99, and when I move the metal detector 2 feet off the ground, it still says 99, 99, I know I've got the right spot. And if I find something that hits my metal detector good and hard like that, then I'll build a fire nearby it, and I'll have my big water pot, and I'll boil some water and pour water on it until I've melted the ground enough to get it out. Because you can't even turn over a rock, and when the ground's frozen, that rock is frozen to the ground. I used to go to this water pump to when we go camping. There's a water pump. We go to get water, and there was a block of wood that was there by the pump that you could set your bottle on, and it put the bottle up there next to the water pump, so you didn't have to hold it. Well, the block of wood wasn't in the right place. And when you went to grab the block of wood to move it, it was stuck to the ground. You could not get that block of wood off the ground. It was stuck. And that ice is hard as rock when it's frozen. So, yeah, don't go digging. Try and dig in something like that. But the bottle caps are a clue that you, while you're looking for the treasure with your metal detector, you're going to find a lot of bottle caps. There's a lot of bottle caps near it, and that's going to make it harder to find because of all the stuff in the ground there. So, it's only logical. It made it difficult. Yeah, I don't have much more to talk about tonight. I'm very close to it. Let me see. Let's open it up here, and I'll tell you what I know from wherever it is. Lewis and Clark. Well, other than Lewis and Clark, There's a Brown that was in the area that hung up with Lewis and Clark, and he had a hideout here near here. Also, Lewis and Clark. My fifth great granduncle, Major Robert Rogers, petitioned the king for an expedition to find the Northwest Passage by going up the Missouri River to the Shining Mountains. From there, it's a 20-mile carry to the Oregon River that leads to the Pacific Ocean, and that's the route that Lewis and Clark followed. But I just saw somebody posted on Facebook a picture of Mackenzie's stone in Canada, I guess, where Mackenzie had crossed and reached the Pacific in 1797. I have a letter from my fourth great granduncle to my fourth great grand aunt from 1797 in a box somewhere here. I got to go through them. When you live in an RV, it's hard to keep track of, and hard to keep things in good condition. Most things I store them away, and I don't see them for years. You know, I haven't seen them for 3 years because I got them stashed away in a cupboard where they're safe. So, but I'm getting close. I'm gonna get it. I put together a few things, and it's like, okay, I got this, and this. All these things match this spot, you know. So I'm gonna get it, but I'll see if it'll let me end my video. Where is the stop button, YouTube? I'm touching the screen. Hold it, maybe. No, I got my finger. See, I have my finger right on my nose on the screen here, hoping that it'd bring up something to let me stop. But there's no stop. I can't even operate the little thing here. I think that when this winter is over, share. Maybe that's it, huh? No. Because I got to stop the, you know, there's the reverse the camera. I don't know what that is. That's a bunch of, boy, YouTube, you got a lot of useless stuff on here, and you don't have any way to stop the video other than I'm going to turn off YouTube. I'm just going to set my screen to my main. Boom.